What is up, guys, and welcome back to the Bullish Buzz. If you guys couldn't tell by this beautiful and peachy smile on your screen, I am back at all-time highs in my portfolio, and I am here to share every single holding within my personal, taxable, and Roth IRA portfolios. I'm going to tell you guys how much I am up or down on each position, and I'm going to show you guys how much equity, shares, my average price, everything you guys could possibly be wondering about my portfolio, I will be sharing in today's video. Okay, I'm done yapping, and we're going to go ahead and jump into my portfolio's performance. But before I do have to let you guys know, as always, that this is very sensitive content. And if you are allergic or scared to the color green or money in general, you might want to look away. Because all we have made over here is an absolute bag, being up around $3,400 today, approaching $3,500, or around 6% of my account, which is now north of $61,000, looking like we're targeting $62,000, which we may even hit by the end of this video. But taking a look on the daily, we obviously are killing it. And taking a look on the weekly here, we are now up over $6,000 or around 11% of our total account. Now, taking a look at the monthly here, we are up around $9,200 or around 17.5% of our total portfolio. And over the 3-month time frame, we are up around $23,305 or around 60% of our total portfolio. Now, from those April lows where we were talking about tariff news, we have absolutely rallied back and we have reclaimed all-time highs, as you guys can see on the year-to-date chart, now being up around $16,000 for about a 34% gain within our portfolio. And as you guys can see, you know I talk about that cup and handle all the time. And if you guys can see here, my portfolio looks like it kind of has a cup and handle going. So I'm not saying this to be cocky, but I'm saying 100K by the end of this year. I'm dropping it there. I think that we can hit 100K by the end of this year. And if you guys think we can hit 100K by the end of this year, make sure you comment 100K down in the comments down below. Now, before I get into my personal holdings and my portfolio, if you guys liked any of the profits that I just showed you and maybe want to take home some of those of your own, make sure you guys do click the first link in our description down below where you guys can join up on our free Discord, which, as you guys can see here, has been absolutely killing it. We took this absolute insane put, which ran over 522%, followed by a bot call alert that ran over 228%. And what I mean by a bot call alert is I coded a bot that has been absolutely killing the market. As you guys can see, yet again today, we took a nice little put for 80%, turned it around and took a call for another 80% gain, and even a 225% gain on Robinhood earlier today when they ran around 12%. But that is not all. Once again, I also called out a MSTR call. As I scroll through our profits here, I called out a $400 and a $410 call for MSTR, and those ran about 300% in a single day as well. So we have been absolutely killing it. Do not miss out on these profits, as you guys can see here. Make sure you guys do join up today so you guys do not miss out on our next legendary call. Now, of course, I had to start this video with the star of the show, which is going to be Robinhood Markets. And now Robinhood is up over 15% today and quickly approaching $100 in share price. And now over the last 3 months, this stock has been absolutely rallying, being up around 140% from our tariff lows in April and down at $34. I was screaming buy for y'all. And as you guys can see, I did go ahead and buy that dip. And now I'm sitting on around 200 shares at an average price of around $45.50. And just today alone, we are up around 15% or around $2,500 within our position. And now this brings our total position and our total return to around $10,100 or around a 110% return within our personal holdings. And now that brings our market value to about $20,000 in total. And guys, I am just absolutely ecstatic with this position because I believe that we are not even close to done. I believe that this position can see $100 to $160 by around this time next year. And I believe that if we are to see a bull market ensue within the crypto markets, this thing can be $200 by the end of this year. I know it sounds crazy and it sounds absolutely nuts, but if Bitcoin is to run and all of these transactions are to go through Robinhood Markets, I'm confident that this stock will be at least north of $150, which is another 100 or another 50% from where we are today. And for my personal position would put me about a 200% gain. So of course, I'm hoping to see that and we'll see if it comes. But let's go ahead and jump into our next stock on today's list. Jumping into our next position is going to be one that you guys know very well, and that is going to be Oscar Health. As you guys know, I've been preaching Oscar Health for over 5 months now, just from back in February of 2025. But since then, we saw the stock go about completely flat for about 4 months. And then over the last 2 or 3 weeks here, we've seen an absolute insane rally, being up now around 57% on the month. And as you guys can see, I was buying that dip all the time. And now we are up to around 777 shares. Of course, you know I have that for some good luck. But our average price is sitting at around $15.61. And this brings our portfolio diversity to around 30%, which is going to be with my big three, which we will talk about the last one next. But as you guys can see, that brings my market value to just over $16,700. And in today's return alone, we saw a 5% gain, or $831. And in total, we have now seen a $4,500 return, or about 40% within my holding. Now, I do believe that Oscar Health can see 40 to 50 to $60 by this time next year, and I am fully expecting us to hit around 30 to $32 by the end of this year and start that wave 4 move before we do move up to those 50 and $60 targets by this time next year. Now, if you guys don't own any Oscar, this is kind of like your last chance. I would suggest getting in under $22 if you can at the absolute latest. Now, I've been telling people to buy this stock since it was at around $12.15. So if you guys missed the move and don't want to miss the next, that is another opportunity for you guys to click the link in our description down below and join up on our free Discord down there. But let's go ahead and jump into our third stock on today's list. Jumping into stock number three here, we're going to have a bit of a controversial one in Hims. Now, as you guys know, Hims got a contract cut by Novo, and that contract was over Wegovy and Hims not pushing a new drug onto new customers that may not have needed it. But at the end of the day, I do want to say that I do think that this is going to be positive for Hims, unlike most opinions. Now, I do think that it is going to hurt Hims in the short term, losing a big name brand like Novo, losing a little bit of that trust from their customers in the short term is definitely going to hurt. But we have seen that related in the share price here. As you guys can see that we are down around 20% over the last month as we saw those lows dip down around 26.82%. And since then, we have rebounded nicely back up to around $50. And we are still up around 102% on the year. So I'm not really complaining here, but I do think that this is going to be better for Hims' business model moving forward, as now they're going to have a customer to brand relationship instead of a brand to customer relationship where Hims would be selling their product through Novo to a customer. Obviously, if they do it that way, they're going to be losing a little bit money on their expenses. So I think now that they're away from Novo, this can bring in a little bit more revenue and income for this company, which obviously is going to bump those growth numbers up even more than they already are. But let's go ahead and take a look at my position, which is still up a killer 53%, guys. People have been asking me if I pulled out of Hims, if I think Hims is dead. And the answer is no, I do not. This company is still killing it on every side of the business. Even if we are to see another cut within Novo, if they were to have another contract and they cut it, I don't think anything is going to take away from this beautiful company and what they have building. This is literally the Amazon of telehealth. You can get anything that you possibly could need without leaving your house. That is so insanely efficient. And with their marketing strategies and the way that they are running their business, there is no way that anything could take down this company. And I see this company running north of $100 following a plan like Hood over the next few weeks and months and years. Now, being up around $5,200 on this position is pretty nice, but coming just about 2 weeks ago when I was up around $9,000 on that position, it was definitely a lot nicer. So I'm looking to get back into the 5-figure gain on Hims. But for now, let's go ahead and jump into stock number 4 within our portfolio. Jumping into stock number 4, this is going to be a newer one, which has seen a really nice gain of popularity over the last few weeks. And if you guys do want to go ahead and time check me on this, I was one of the first people to be posting about Zeta Global. But since then, it has gone absolutely crazy on Twitter and X, and we have seen even hedge funds begin to buy in. But nonetheless, we have seen retail buy in with institutional ownership over 68%, which is absolutely insane to see. But you guys can see here that Zeta is sitting around $15.55. And I believe that over the next year, we can see this stock reclaim all-time highs over $36, seeing about a north of $40 price target. And now with Zeta coming in at $15.55 and my average price sitting at around $14.45, I'm up around $400 on this early position for about a 7.5% gain. Now, my current share count is at 325, and I'd like to get this to around $500 before we see about $20 in share price. But this does bring my current market value to about $5,000. But this was a really new position within my portfolio, and there really hasn't been too much to rave about yet. But I do think that this quiet little stock is really going to start running soon. So this is one that I would definitely keep on the watch list. But that was Zeta Global, and let's go ahead and jump into a new company that I began to invest in. And I'm really thinking that there's a lot of upside and potential opportunity within this one. So let's go ahead and jump into our fifth and final stock within my taxable brokerage account. Jumping into stock number 5 on today's list, rounding out our taxable brokerage account, we have Dutch Bros here. Now, I just started a position within Dutch Bros, and as you guys can see, I have about 65 shares at an average price of $69.73 for a total market value of about $4,400. I'm looking to grow this position over time and get to north of 250 shares. I believe that this company is going to be strong in the future, as it is already pretty strong now. I believe that if we can reach a $50 billion market cap by the end of this decade, which is 100% possible given their growth numbers, which I'll lay out in just a second. But if we are to see a $50 billion market cap from where we currently sit at around $11 billion, that would put Dutch Bros at around $287 a share. And now with a share price like that, that is looking like a pretty good return within my portfolio. So I am thinking that as they are going to open another 6,000 shops before the end of 2030, that is going to be 6xing the amount of shops that they have open. That is going to be a strong revenue and income driver for this company, as they are looking to put out more hot food, more drinks in stores, and selling beans online. I do think that this company is going to find themselves in a little bit of a competition area with Starbucks, where Starbucks currently sits at around $100 billion in market cap. Like I said, if Dutch Bros can achieve just half of that, coming in at $50 billion, we could see $300 plus a share. Now, obviously, I would love to see that, and I'm sure you guys would too. But that is going to be my brand new position within Dutch Bros. I cannot wait to keep following this position and see how it grows. But let's go ahead and quickly jump into my Roth IRA and my single option call that I do want to tell you guys a little bit about. Quickly jumping over to our Roth IRA here, you guys can see that we're coming in at around $8,827. Now, the investment thesis for this portfolio is much, much slower, but I will give you guys a little bit of an insight as over the last 3 months from those April lows, we are up around $1,352 or around 18% of our portfolio. Now, taking a look at what we are holding in here, we are holding some VUG, which is going to be coming in with around 4.11 shares at an average price of around $400. We're up around $165, around 10% on that holding. Now, also looking at SCHD, which is our next holding, we have 35 shares. We're up around $14 or around 1.61%. And you guys can see I am receiving my first dividend payment from SCHD, which is going to be coming in at around $9.10. Once again, I cannot wait to see how that grows over time. Understanding the dividend compound is one of the most important things within investing. Now, looking at my next stock here, it's going to be more of Oscar Health. I could not pass up grabbing that dip. And as you guys can see, I'm already back up around 10% for about a $133 gain within my position here. But jumping into our last holding, we have a new one in SMH. I actually sold off my NVIDIA because I wanted to jump into SMH, as I did think things like AMD, ASML, and AVGO were really going to outshine NVIDIA. But even if I'm wrong, NVIDIA is still the largest holding within this ETF. So if NVIDIA is to go on another 200% run or something like that, I would still be catching all of that gain. All right, guys, that's going to go ahead and wrap up the video from today. But if you guys enjoyed everything I shared in today's video, please drop a like and subscribe as always, as it really does help out the channel. And make sure you guys do jump in the description down below, join up on our free Discord if you guys want to make some profits like I showed in today's video. Other than that, guys, make sure you guys have a good week and have a happy and safe 4th of July. And I will see you guys in the next one.